Either they love you, or they hate you, or they gon' judge you. It is what it is. 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 What up, world? What's going on? We're here for another great episode of Lingo Ink's Open Minds. I'm happy that y'all tuning in each and every week. We have beautiful souls on the channel to, bring their light and their energy and their stories and their trials and tribulations. Today, we have a special guest soul here. She's the author of If You Can Pray, You Can Feng Shui. Now, when you hear Feng Shui, some people feel like it's like a French word or something like that, but it's something much more than that, especially as far as energy is concerned. And I want to everybody to give a round of applause to Greta here. Yes, everybody. So, Greta, you are the author and feng shui teacher. You can catch her at NATOR, the national organization is short, at feng shui on Instagram, basically, right? And to get with her after she explains. So, thank you for coming on the show. Brought to you by Lingo Ink. We have Zodiac lines. Check that out, lingoinkboutique.com. And I want you to tell people like your journey, your story, how you came to the point to do what feng shui is, and what exactly is feng shui.
All right. I'll take it. Yeah. So it's not a French word. Actually, it's Chinese. And feng and shui translate directly to wind and water. So yeah, we'll just dive right in. Thanks for having me, of course. But yeah, it's feng shui, wind and water. Those are the elements of change. And so my journey started out of the desire to find more comfort and space in a cramped apartment, living at the base of a ski resort in Lake Tahoe. So we had a lot of gear. We had a dog. We had, 600 square feet to work with, and we're getting pummeled with snow the whole time. So that was the motivation originally, was to dial in our space, and just increase comfort and do it right, really. And so that was like 2009. I was working as a school teacher at the time, and also in the weekends I worked at the resort too. I was in the first aid room, so helping people that were injured, basically, and in kind of emergency situations. So just kind of lived like that for about 10 years, really. But through doing feng shui, we were able to invest in a house. Basically 600 square feet became 1,200 square feet, and my own home, which was an A-frame cabin at the time, also with tons of snow happening outside, also just getting buried up through the windows, and dealing with pretty extreme conditions, I would say, is what really brought me to this.
So, was there a moment that feng shui got introduced to you, or you came up upon it for the interest to do this?
Yes, it was definitely a link in the chain of kind of a self-help, self-care, yoga exploration journey. And I had a session with like a Reiki type therapist. She's more like an intuitive healer. It's called Body Talk, and it's more tapping. But she was the one who initially told me to research and look into the balance between yin and yang. And that was the clue, or the, what tipped me off to start to research the balance between yin and yang, and that brought me to Feng Shui.
That's amazing. So you studied it, and then how did you get to the point where you're writing a book about it and you have your business deals with feng shui?
Yes, my business is teaching other people how to do it at this point. And I would say I'm fully confident that I know how to do it because I practiced it. And that's really how you get to understand the ins and outs of this. You can only just do it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of information out there. It's really hard to know how to begin. It's also, takes a while to learn how to do it correctly and coming to it with the right intentions, and because it is a creative spiritual art, it's not just rearranging your space, it's also engaging your spirit, your spiritual your spiritual body, which people do when they pray. You know, they tap into the divine, and being of earth, they connect with the ground too. We're kind of a conduit between heavenly energy and earth. And our role is to process that energy. And that can sometimes be very difficult. And so, using this practice, we focus on maintaining balance during all these times of change, as energy does impact us and bring change into our lives.
That's what, we all want to change for the better. Um, so say I came into your office. I'm hearing about the energies. I don't really know much, and I'm like, I'm sign me up. What's the
Mhm.
how do you get started? What's the process? What needs to change? Go through it for the people.
Of course. So I would say the first thing you want to do is get your intention straight. You're not coming to this because you want to make $1 million. You're not coming to this just to be famous or have some type of kind of superficial desire. Usually you will get feedback in a way that isn't so comfortable for you. It's learning to work with the universe. The best reason to do it is in the interest of your health. And so, just being aware that this is a very powerful practice, I think, is something people need to know before they start doing it. And then it's like going to, a professional. You need to go to a professional. You need to kind of have a guide. And of course, well, through our program, we maintain the homeowner, the renter, the tiny home, the van life, whoever it is, you need to maintain control of your process. And so basically, we sign them up for a one-time fee, and it's like your one-time buy-in to start the process of working with the universe. You really are going to start to have a conversation in the way of um, symbolic gestures, and creation of your space is going to require you to understand metaphysical principles, and it's going to require extra curiosity and research and investment of time on your part to to get there. And so everyone's process is different. Everyone's, emotional baggage is different. There's no saying, you don't start this and all of a sudden you're in a talk therapy program, or you're going to a chiropractor. It's like it's an enrichment and enhancement to what you would already be doing for your personal health. I will say that. But we're just here to guide, teach. As a client, you get to call up whenever you want and ask questions, which definitely would come up. And then just kind of provide support in any way that we can. And, talking a little bit more about our business model, we we are only as strong as our network. So, if that's kind of how we're building value into our network and people who are of a like mind, because there's power in that collective of, like you said, wanting to grow for the better and wanting to see that shine into the outside world. The more we can come together with this common interest goal, help people improve their living standards, um, then that's what we're going to do.
So so do you help facilitate like certain types of like energy grids in people's homes, and how do you do that?
So there's a basic 101 lesson that is on the Bagua map, which
And
basically
what
shows.
is the bagua for the people that
So,
don't know?
good question. So Bagua actually translates to 8 guas, and a gua is an energy center. So you can think of it like a grid. The grid actually has nine
And this
squares.
and where's this grid at? You talking about the grid where people are at? Like I'm
Great question. So you basically have your floor plan is like the square of your, or the rectangle of your house, and the
okay.
grid is overlay. And so you can identify different quadrants of your house and make a connection to a life theme. There's 9 life themes. Um, in the center of it all is health, and that's mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, and all of like the 8 tentacles around that center, your health, which feeds and reciprocates with everything, your relationship to everything more specifically. um, then you're going to start to make connections between your space and your life, and kind of understand the bagua there. But it's like it has infinite applications. Like you could do it to the main floor of your house. You could do it to just your bedroom. You could do it to your car. You could do it to your workspace, and and that's kind of the foundational knowledge for creating a balance in the space through of elements. So there's, you kind of take it a step.
What type of elements would you need to have like a is this like a protection, like energetic protection type of grid that you're talking about?
So yes, it is. This is protection. So the elements are water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. And then wind or air is one that people typically think of. That's actually the life force that comes into your space. So that's the element of change.
So would you
Uh,
use those elements inside the house too? Like how do you put these things together?
yeah, I mean it's very much like the movie The Fifth Element.
Okay.
Um,
I haven't
to
watched
where
it, but if you could like elaborate, that'd be
Yeah, I mean it's a Bruce Willis movie. Chris Tucker is in there, and there's this gal Lilu who comes, I think, from outer space or the future. I don't remember,
hmm.
and I don't want to spoil the movie, but
You
there's a
can no, you
certain
can for your analogy of why you're what you're explaining,
right.
because this is just
Well,
like a learning thing, so people can really understand if
for sure.
they were gonna put it in their house, like what we're dealing with. Because I heard earth, wind, and fire, and I don't know if you
Right.
were talking about the '70s band or, you know. So we're going into it right now. Feng Shui.
Right. So earth, wind, and fire. Okay. So if you have wind and fire together, that's like out of control. Okay. When fire burns down, you get ash, and that's earth. Okay. So we start to talk about how the elements interact with each other, and having proper proportions will, in a sense, build your balance.
Okay,
And
so basically you're coming in my house, right? What type of elements are we bringing, like, to build the grid, and whether it's a car, you have my house, like this is stuff that I feel people would want to like know, like what it is exactly. Is it crystals? Is it, you know,
Right.
like what does it
Yeah.
entail? Because once people understand all that, they go, oh, okay, and they get a better idea than just like, oh, the elements. Because,
And that
go ahead.
truthfully, like Feng Shui 501. It's more advanced. The basic thing that you're going to start to do is learn 101, which is the Bagua and understanding what contributes to your life. A lot of people think it's their job and their money and their romantic life,
Mm,
but truthfully, nine, arguably, you know, 15 different areas that you need to be considering in order to have a balanced life, including spiritual development, creative outlets, your sense of fame and reputation. It's not just famous people are famous. Everyone's got a reputation for something, and making that a positive relationship to your reputation. Like if someone has a bad reputation, that's going to affect them on a real level. And so you kind of work to gather information and assess your life as the beginning step. So you sign up, we'll do a property assessment. I'm not here to shrink anyone. I'm here to be a shrink, I should say. We look at the space and we talk about what's going on there, and then it's food for self-reflection and
so
self.
so let's play a scenario, right? So you can
Yes.
go somewhere, right? And
Hmm.
you can be like, "Ooh, this one's gonna be this one's gonna be a thriller." We're not talking about Michael Jackson either. Okay? So you can evaluate that. What is that through energies? Like what's going on? And you're like, we're gonna have to make a castle here instead of a protection. Have you had instances like that? But how does that work though?
Yeah, I mean, being an intuitive, going into places, it's really more just like walking by places, and I can feel like
Energy.
yin is like looking out at me.
Energy, whether it's negative or positive, right?
Well, there's yin energy. Yin energies are shadow energies,
Got it.
and they reside in dark, vacant places, like a vacant building or a hotel room. Those are places where there might be, and this is positive, negative, it's dark, light. Basically energies need to they need to feed off of a host. They're like parasites. It's like having pests in your home. So working with the grid, making sure all you're firing on all cylinders. You're activating your energy body to a larger degree to where you can ward off um, energetic parasites, is the word. And they attach to the home before you even get there. They attach to the home um, based on how long it's been built and the land that it was built on, and who lived there before you and what their life was like. It's just a big container of energy. And so, you come on to Feng Shui, you learn 101, you get a property assessment to understand what's going on so that it's the space and not you. And you're really just gaining understanding about yourself, which strengthens you. There's a phrase on our website: to know thyself is to love thyself, and to love thyself is to heal thyself. And so you're going to start there, know yourself, and then we're going to boost the vibration. We're going to bring the house up to love, and then we're going to heal, because you're not going to be able to heal in an environment that's less than loving. And so your house effectively becomes your protection, your active cocoon, personal growth.
Have you had any challenging cases, or like you've been somewhere and you're like, you know what, you need to move like yesterday. Like there ain't no feng shui up in here, okay? It's go that way, out the door. Have you had any of those experiences?
Yes. And that's why I advise people, feng shui first. Don't, just, you got to check it out before you get there. The best, of course, there's cures that you can do. But one instance, you know, there's in Tahoe, there's a lot of ancient burial grounds that now there's casinos on top of, there's development, and there's a lot of ancestral energy there. And if that energy is not at peace with the residents that are there, it's going to become a problem in the way of confusion, accidents. It's basically like accidental death, disease. There's a few others where a spirit will live on in a malicious way. Anyway, I'm kind of digressing, but they had it was basically like their fireplace was like effectively a portal well into just like dark energy. And it was like,
So
okay, I
so what do you do in that case if you see that? Like what types of things do you set up to like, you know, feng shui that area or
right. So in that case, it would be like that's going to exist no matter what. You advise a move sometimes, or you work with the elements to create synergy to minimize the impact that it has.
oh.
And so elemental synergy is that's another staging service that I offer is you look at one room and you set it up so it's elementally balanced.
So
And what
what's the
that
setup usually for like just a random one? What's the usual setup?
so you're going to start with the large furniture and make sure that there's proper flow. And flow is like having proper digestion in your body. It's you want everything to come in, not get hung up, get properly absorbed, and have an exit point. And a lot of times, getting to the exit is a matter of getting enough filtered in the first place. I don't know if that makes sense. I can say it again. So it's like you need to attract energy to your front door if you're going to cultivate it inside. So if like you have two front doors at your property, like the energy doesn't, it's just like if someone were to come to their door, if it's not clearly marked where they're supposed to go, then similarly chi, vital force, energy, whatever you want to call it, is going to have difficulty getting into your house. And it's also like charging your battery. You gotta have a power source to charge the battery. And but then EMFs are another thing that affect your vital force. I'll
Like
keep using that.
electromagnetic fields?
Yes, we very much operate on that field.
So
It's
would like the internet, like the Wi-Fi signals, is that something that you're talking about, or are you talking about
yeah.
like 5G or something? Like what are the magnetic fields you're talking about?
So 5G in your home, I think, is largely safe. Living near a 5G tower, however, you might consider avoiding that to the tune of like 500 yards. And that is only because it messes with your personal energy field, which controls your brain. And we are concerned with brain functions. Going on the internet and introducing thoughts and ideas at a rapid rate into your brain is taxing and can affect your ability to rest. And we have a sleep consult is another service that at this time everything is done virtually through client um, consultant and cooperation to submit appropriate pictures. It's really kind of that simple, to dial it in and do the investigation part.
So,
Um,
so not only we got to check the house, we have to check the poles outside because what's your thoughts of the whole 5G thing? Because there's a point that they're going to be everywhere. I even heard they even want to go 6G, and we're hearing all the stuff that can disrupt the energetic field of a human. But yet again, they want to move ahead in technology. What are your thoughts about that? Like just on a global scale.
I think it's it means we have to get stronger. We we have to. It's a bit more interference to the natural rhythms of the planet, and we are nourished and fed by connection to the natural rhythms, which is also called the Schumann resonance. Uh, and people tap into Schumann when they do practice like grounding, meditation, just laying on the grass is grounding your energy, and that is talking electricity, grounding it out, finding its source. Excuse me. Um, yeah, so I have not heard of anything about 6G. um, but right now is like, I don't try to not get too paranoid and worried about it, because worry is another thing that gets to
Low
your,
vibrations, exactly. But
yeah,
I just want to know thoughts because, I hear of this and it's like, if it's not doing well, then why are we doing more of that? You know? Uh,
right.
even 4G. Wasn't 4G enough? Wasn't 4G enough for us?
Is the internet really helping us? All this information, is that really serving our highest good? And that is a lot of what the book is on, is maintaining human spirit, which is being outweighed by intellectualism and just that drive of soaking it all up, I guess.
And basically, feng shui is a natural flow of things. That's what I'm getting. And technology is just something artificial, right? When you think about AI, artificial intelligence, um, all this stuff is going to interfere with the natural chemistry and energy flow with spirit, you know. And for Greta was basically saying is even the evaluation with the house is other like fractions of things that are interfering with your energy field, and we're just day by day just walking around, just
Yeah.
going into places. There's all types of stuff, just like she mentioned. There's burial sites of just energies that's has needs to be sorted out, and people are bringing their energy to these places, and once you have the highest vibration of love, it conquers all because we was made out of love. So
So, yeah, I mean, that happens all outside. So, inside your house, you want to make it rejuvenating. So, you're ready to go and handle those elements. But love is not the highest vibration. Love is the vibration where healing begins. And you're talking about 5G, there's also 5D, which is the energy body of the earth.
the fifth
And
dimensional, fifth dimensional,
right.
yeah.
And so to explain that by scientific terms is the electromagnetic field of the earth has expanded since about 2017. It's been expanding. And that means that we don't just get to go to 700, which is enlightenment. Love is 500, 700 is enlightenment. We go into the 2000s now with our spiritual awareness.
So I should correct myself and say, just love is a high vibration.
Love is where you want to get your house to be. Love is a high vibration for like inanimate objects, but a person's capacity is, to get to 2000 is a threshold. That's the transition that needs to be made. 4D is basically like 900 to like 1350, and then there's this is some of my personal practice research in vibrational medicine that's separate from.
Beautiful. This is all great information.
Yeah, well, and Feng Shui is one modality that you use to navigate to higher vibrations, and that really enables that healing.
And it starts at home and home inside.
It's a booster. It's a level up tool.
Modality, a tool.
Yeah, you can take CBD. That's going to get your vibration for a period of time up to that 2000. It depends on what the level of CBD you're taking, but that will raise your vibration. But you need to be able to maintain it on a sustainable level for it to be actual change.
I can see the wheat stocks going up right now by you mentioning the CBD is going to help you feng shui.
It's why I recommend it. It's why I sell it as part of my brand, is like, and this is the highest quality CBD. It goes right to your bloodstream. There's nothing lost in extraction, purity of self and products, and, everything you eat, everything you consume through your mouth, your mind, your ears, your eyes. It makes a difference. And like I said, I was at a ski resort. It was nature, top of the mountain, 7,000 feet, not a lot of people around. Now, in the last couple of years, I've been called to come down from the mountain, and I don't know. It's been, this last couple of years has been, testing my strength. But you get stronger when you're tested. You do get weak when you're trying to isolate yourself. And they say, if you think you're enlightened, like, spend the weekend with your parents and like see how enlightened you are. But yeah, and there's different levels of enlightenment. Before cavemen had fire, that was a period of darkness followed by enlightenment. Now we're in post internet. We're in a phase of enlightenment as a collective. And everybody's at different stages now, is really what's making it very chaotic. Everyone's living in their own reality, really. So
I personally believe it's a great awakening. There's people waking up on different levels, and it's for greater consciousness, and everybody's having their aha moments, and we're reaching.
Yes.
That's how we're reaching to this 5D, the new Earth. We are here. Greta is here, feng shuiing it out, and the leopard, and the leopard, and the leopard fit. That's how you feng shui. Kittens, they sneak in. You don't even know they're in the room. That's how feng shui it is. That's how peaceful it is. So, Greta, I talked to you previously before, and you mentioned like celebrities, some for the celebrities feng shui. Can you give us some good celebrities that feng shui that you heard of allegedly?
Now, it's allegedly, because you don't really tell people if you feng shui. It's kind of like a keep it to yourself type of.
Oh, you bougie, huh? You feng shuiing? That's I can hear that already. Oh, you feng shuiing, huh?
Well, right, and that type of skepticism is not good for your confidence, and you just don't want to give people that opportunity. And I make a joke. I'm
No,
like,
this is.
okay,
I just love the word feng shui. It just sounds appealing, you know. And
yeah,
but it's really
it,
all energy type of work.
it's really a Chinese word. I don't speak Chinese. I know, a little bit about Chinese culture. I know that
You just know it
inf-
works.
this information is somewhat subversive in China, to where it was like, some types of martial arts are outlawed. This similarly is a very powerful, significant thing that people that are controlling the masses don't want empowerment. We know this. And so
Right.
it's rebellious, a little vixen sly of me to make it so accessible to everyone. Through my book, through my business platform, is like, okay, let's crack this open and break the taboos around it, because they're there to for the wrong reasons. They'll try to say, oh, that's witchcraft, or that's just, whatever this. But I would joke that, like, reality TV stars must have done feng shui to be famous for literally like no reason. And that's kind of where it's just like it's been a competitive edge for people.
So
Um,
you don't believe
yeah.
it's just like just somebody putting somebody on, or they already have money and they did some extra things, wink wink, to get where they're supposed to be. Do you actually believe, especially in the industry, that they doing feng shui? Maybe some of them, I don't know, because a lot of people's perspective about the industry is not very positive.
Right. Yeah, I mean, who I really love is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is such an exemplary human to me, to have just broken this ceiling on what people thought was possible. And I just really think that that's who we need to focus on, is people who genuinely work hard, develop a sense of their own talent and skills, and rise to infamy for a good thing, as opposed to, just superficial things. I think, and that's where I'm like, is this really my message? Is like, don't be so superficial, but because it's nice to look good and to present well, and I don't want to take away from beauty in any way. And radical self-expression, but also challenging human potential and protecting yourself. Again, we're talking about protection, but from the metaphysicals, that things that you can't see that could affect you. um yeah, I think it's important stuff.
Do you feel that Michael Jordan feng shui at some point in his life, or he just naturally had the drive and the passion, and maybe it feels feng shui-ish to you? What do you feel?
Right, I mean, we're talking about performance enhancement in some way or shape or form. And the fact that he's now giving back to the community. I think it was like a North Carolina hospital just received
You don't
or
think that's for tax purposes? No, I'm kidding. Nah, it's no. He's doing great things. Shout out to
ever.
Michael. He's the greatest. We love Michael. Um, but go
But
ahead.
about the industry, I mean, the accidental deaths that happen in the industry to me are very sinister. And you wanted to talk about, someone just told me that Kobe had like 60 million in insurance policies.
Allegedly,
Allegedly. Yeah, I don't know about these people.
right?
I don't know
Well, we
everything
want to
about
put
it.
out allegedly because we're not putting out. any type of misinformation out there. So
No.
everything's allegedly what we're speaking. That's all I want to say.
But there are a lot of unfortunate deaths that happen in the industry. You look at even Bob Marley, I know it was natural causes, but John Lennon, uh, the guy, I don't know, from The Crow, John Candy, uh, Chris Cornell, um, Robin Williams, Judy Garland. Um, Even if you check out Britney Spears these days, she doesn't seem to be really having a good go at it. And you have to wonder, like, what are we all buying into, and is it worth?
Do you feel that they needed to feng shui to kind of get them out of that funk, or is it beyond their powers at the level that they're at?
So beyond help is a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Feng shui is a mindset. It's a face all of your problems type of mentality. It's not a grind mentality. It's not a it's the opposite of a grind mentality, actually. It's um and not that there's anything wrong with being famous. It's just um making sure that it's balanced with a good family life and good emotional, physical, spiritual health. And sometimes creativity is just about releasing energy. It's not about being a starving artist. That is buying into this
Nature.
culture.
Right.
It's a degenerative model. It's self-destruct, degenerate. And those people are being promoted to that. Again, what are we buying into? Um, Kurt Cobain. Um, there's a lot more in music industry, but it's also very prevalent in the NBA, I would say, more so than other sports. Um,
So
and
basically, all of them in all the fields need to get with you, Greta, to feng shui the areas so they can be here happy and harmonious as it was intended to be in the first place.
I think it's about returning to innocence, returning to your purity. Um, that's at some level gonna really make people feel fulfilled deep down,
That's
as
the inner
opposed,
child.
right, healing your inner child,
Because
merging.
I mentioned this in another episode. Our inner,
Okay,
everybody wants to get back to the inner child because that's when we were the freest, when we were children. Until
right,
constraints came on us, pressures, you name it, society, what you're not supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, who you are. They even told you who you are. You came in, taught people, so everybody's looking outside of themselves. But the freest that we've all ever been was a child.
right. I think they call it indoctrination. And
Into the matrix.
well, okay, let's talk about the Matrix. The Matrix is broken. Because of the 5D expansion, we can escape the matrix.
The new
Before
earth is here. We're entering the age of Aquarius.
before there was nowhere
Happening.
to go. Now there is. Of course, it's you're in your head, it's existential. It's not physical. You still have to we have to make systematic changes to break the grid on Earth.
Yeah, we need to feng shui the whole earth, as far as I'm concerned. Feng shui it all out, okay? With sage and all that. Because the earth is going to replenish itself whether we like it or not, you know?
Right.
And it's such a beautiful thing because we are part of this. I'm pouring into her cup, she's pouring into my cup. It's really the same cup, really, people, you know?
Oneness, one love.
One love, and that's what it's all about. So, Feng Shui is a beautiful modality, and Greta has been through her own, situations and trials and tribulations, like all of us has been, and came upon this on her journey. Wrote a book on it, so you could check out the. Where could they get the book at? If you can pray, if you can Feng Shui. Where could they
I
get this at?
it's through a major distributor. I always recommend people talk to their local bookstore and have them order it for you. It's also on Amazon, although right now it's like $2 over retail price on Amazon. I That's kind of confusing what's going on there. But yeah, Barnes and Noble, you can buy the ebook is like $3, the e-read, and starting to talk to retailers like crystal shops and places like that to try to get it more available. But so far, it's just been a little underground, I would like to say.
No, it's overground. It's going to the moon. We're not speaking. No, it's little. I don't know nothing about that. This is
Right.
a bestseller. If you can pray, you can feng shui to change the energies around yourself, inside of you, in your place, everything. We even talked about 5G towers that these are all things that affect our day-to-day spirit here, to continue to do the things that we need to do in the highest vibration. I'm trying to get to that 2000 mark. I was at love. I'm searching love with love. That was there. You know what I'm saying? And then Greta's like, no, we're going higher than love. We're going to, what are we going to? To the
I
moon. And where else? Where are we
put
going?
you at like 12:30 right now. I think you're doing pretty good.
I'm at
So
12. No, I'm going for 2000. I'm not going to be content until I hit 2000. Yes, I'm
why
on
not
it.
1,000? Why not 4,000?
Why not 6,000? Listen, we can ante it up all night. I'm ready for it, okay? You won't even see me in his chair. They're like, where's he at? He's on 10,000. What about that? But check out the book. If you can pray, you can feng shui. Available everywhere. Barnes and Nobles. And get with the expert, the feng shui teacher slash author. You can find her at nat.org feng shui on IG. It's on the screen. And to
And .com, Twitter, Facebook.
everywhere. It's everywhere. So what are we talking about here? So just find her if you want to feng shui. Um, you know, it's a different type of modality. It's something new. It's not new. It's new to a lot of people. That's why we have her on the show. But anything you want to leave the people off with before
Yeah,
we
I
let
mean,
you
we
go?
have an introductory client rate happening now for the next year. It's
Okay.
100 start. Of course, just buying the book, that's an investment in your personal feng shui. If you really are trying to level up, you should definitely check it out. And, we're going to have a lot of different service offerings, a couple each month, just really small, manageable doses to start to, experience what it does for you. So yeah, I encourage everyone to try it. I feel like it's not a matter of if, it's just when.
And it's a
Because
journey, right? So where everybody is like sustained in what they need, and so you're teaching people how to fish in an analogy sense, right? To feng
yeah,
shui, the
we're not,
where they at.
yeah, it's going to be slow, methodical. It's going to take some time. So there's no guarantees. It's however you get out what you put in, just like everything.
Right, to keep
Hmm.
that energy. Well, Greta, it was such an honor and pleasure to have you on the show. We love
Like,
your energy and everything that you do for your not only for people but for yourself, because that's what matters first, right? Before you can help anybody else, you got to help yourself out. You've been putting in the work, and everybody give a round of applause. I mean, We're going to 10,000. Breaking news. I want you to see me in this chair. Okay? So, we appreciate y'all tuning in with another great episode of Lingo Ink's Open Mindz. Make sure y'all go check out the website www.lingoinkboutique.com. We have all the Zodiacs on there. Matter of fact, what Zodiac sign are you, Greta?
I'm a Gemini.
Gemini's in the building. You see what's going on. Gemini is not playing games. They're outside. Okay? So, yeah, Geminis, all of them, Aries, you name them. They're all on the website. Different colors, different products coming out. Just look out for it. And until the next time, peace and love.
No.
Either they love you or they hate you, or they gon' judge you. It is what it is. 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 Being your own, living your truth. All these egos and pride got something to prove. I got my diva inside, cooped in a coop. Keep your feelings inside. I do what I do. I move how I move. Choose what I choose. Third eye's active in motion. Magnificent views. There's too many options, so much to choose. What is for me is just not what's for you. Vice versa. Let it all go. Most of it's not worth it. Just stay focused on your goals and life purpose. Be a student of this life and never stop learning. Never stop learning. Nah, there's some shit you just gotta accept. Your reality is created by the thoughts in your head. You.
Told me stay focused.
My girl told me stay focused.
My homie told me stay focused. Fuck what them haters stay